We're LMSUK and we are really excited to be here at the White Swan Studios. And my goodness, do we have a great artist for you today. She's performed 4 songs, some old, some new, and we're going to play for you today, as well as an interview to find out a little bit more about Chantelle. Chantelle, we're here, you've performed, I'm so excited to kind of hear it all live. And the first thing you said to me today was, oh, I wrote a song last night and performed it today.
Yeah.
That sounds mental to me, but
Yeah.
it works for you, doesn't it? And that's how you like to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it works for me. It's a little bit stressful, but yeah, I like the adrenaline, I suppose.
To come in and just brand new song
Yeah.
and go through. I'm guessing it's quite fresh as well, because it's already in your head,
Yeah.
you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, it was probably the song that I remembered the most
Oh.
when I was performing, because I made it last night, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, you love performing live. I see some amazing clips of it. I've been here
Thank
today
you.
when seeing it. But what I'd like to know is, in the future, you've talked about you want a band, you want a guitarist. Why is that? Do you just want to add more sound into it, add more?
I kind of want the collaboration. There's only so much I can conjure up in my brain, music-wise, like in my own little studio. And I just like meeting different artists because everybody's got a story to say. Everybody's got a different like flair to add. And also I just have bigger goals of different venues to perform at, and I can't always do that on backing track. So it's an all-rounded thing just to like evolve as an artist, really.
And takes that next
Yeah.
place. And it's important and it's going to grow like that.
Yeah.
I would describe your music as a big vibe. Like if I'm listening to your
thank
stuff, it'll be
you.
like in the car, driving somewhere, and
I love
it's
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Where do you get your music influences from? Like who are you listening to that you think people might be able to hear through your own stuff?
Interesting. I grew up listening to Rihanna and JoJo a lot. And I still listen to them to this day, and I'm obsessed with SZA. And I'm just like really leaning more towards like my R&B roots. So it doesn't really matter what comes my way. If I find an R&B song, I mean, I will get attached to it very easily. I think my Logic at home is full of different R&B like music just to like sing along to. But yeah, I just really, really love R&B. Yeah.
Talk to me a little about your songwriting process. Are you lyrics first, go find a beat? How does it all come together?
It's mostly lyrics first because I started off doing this with poetry. I still do poetry a little bit sometimes, but I prefer to just do lyrics because my brain goes 100 miles per hour. So I'll be like at a coffee shop or something and I'm writing down words. But then I'm just getting better at finding music online because I don't actually have a personal producer yet. But I just try and go find a song online and then I'll just sing to it. And eventually, like, the lyrics will have to change slightly. But I'm normally quite lucky, to be honest. Things just kind of match straight away.
Just comes there. It's
Yeah.
a special talent. I couldn't do it, so that's
I'm sure
great
you
to
could.
see. Talk to me about your new single. How did it come about? Why that beat? When can the people see it and stream it?
Okay, so it's coming out on February 28th, around then. I'm going to be reliable. I'm going to say February 28th. And last year, I think my social media just kind of popped off a little bit and I was having a lot of producers messaging me from different countries saying that they wanted me to work on their beats. And you know what it's like in the industry, songs just keep getting pushed back. And this poor guy messaged me and was like, when are you going to do my beat? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. So I was like, okay, first song of the year, like I'll do this one. But the song's actually about all of the crushes that I've accumulated in the last year since I moved to Manchester because everyone's just so attractive. So, yeah, it's just about that. And most of my crushes do know it's about them. So I don't even need to tag people anyway because they all know it's about them because I'm very honest. If people ask me, I'm like, yeah.
This one, this one,
yeah,
this one.
yeah. Some of them actually helped me name the song, which is
No
even
way.
funnier. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. A lot of my friends are very excited for it. So, yeah.
Amazing. Talk to me a little about social media because there's a lot of musicians and bands and artists in the world who go, I hate social media. For me, the industry hasn't changed too much. You produce the best music you can, write and perform, that's your asset. And then you plug it to the people that are going to love it, the masses to hear it and really engage.
Yeah.
Social media, for me, is just another tool to be able to do that. But how do you find it and how engaging is it with you and your fans?
I find social media and fans really strange to navigate because you could pop off and you'd get a viral video like really, really randomly, but that obviously like brings you closer to people that are gonna hate. And so me being the insecure person that I am, I do find that kind of hard to. Sometimes it puts me off posting because I'm worried about those repercussions. But at the end of the day, in this day and age, you have to be on social media.
It's a weird one, isn't it, where like more successful sometimes people are, that hate can rise and people don't like seeing that. And
I'm trying to change the perspective because if I'm being pushed out enough to get hate, it means I'm also getting people to find me that do love me as well.
doing something right.
Yeah. I think like people on social media, I think sometimes they forget they do still need to go out and like perform live and like meet people, because you can't just do it all on the phone. But also like use social media as your diary. I think people try and be something that they're not, and I'm guilty of that. But the last few months I've just been realizing that like I'm not going to get fans if they don't know who I am. So I'm really trying to just like be my goofy self, and if people stick around, they stick around. If they don't, they don't. I think it's scary. It's scary because with everything that's going on, social media is becoming more and more intense. So I get why people don't like it, but you kind of just have to, when you find your niche and like how to handle it as for your mental health, then it actually can be really fun.
100%. And I think the key word there is authenticity.
Yeah.
Your music, your personality, your socials, it should all be about that. And it's separate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got real life, in person, listening to that music. You've got people who are fans online but are really connecting with your music.
Yeah.
Talk to me about like what would be your dream collaboration? If any artist you could choose would go, Chantelle, you can come support me on tour, we're going to do a track together, who would you choose?
Probably SZA.
Yeah? It's a great shout. And
She's
why?
insane. She's just so like, she's just authentic, but also she just has this like aura about her. I just think she's like the sweetest person ever. But the way that she sings and like all her music is like different but similar at the same time. You know it's a SZA song when it comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just insane. Well, she could give me some tips on performing as well, because I just stand there right now. Yeah, that's a really hard question because there's so many people I'd collaborate with, but SZA's the one that comes to mind straight away.
Top spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about being an independent musician, because you do have to be a bit of everything, don't you? You're a manager, booking agent, writing the songs, but it is a bit of everything.
Yeah.
You're getting more and more experience, you're putting more and more songs out, you want to change your live sector. Have you got any advice for people who are starting out right from day one, they haven't put any music out yet? What would you say to those people?
That's so funny because some of my friends are starting to use me as a mentor. I didn't even ask for the role, but that's what they're asking. I just say, like, you don't have to be perfect straight away. I'm still finding my sound, and I've been doing music now for like 3-4 years. I think everybody strives for perfection, but no one really cares for that anymore. Like, you can just do what you want to do, and it's so much more fun to be independent right now because there's just so much freedom in it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing labels. Maybe one day I'll have one. But I think it's really important to like have a role in each of the roles so that you're aware of what's going on, what you like, what you don't like. And just like trial and error. You don't have to be perfect. And then, yeah, if you have your foot in each thing, you kind of embody what you're trying to be. I really love the idea of like meeting your higher self. So I just feel like the more that I'm in each foot is in the door slightly, I'm like meeting the more successful version of me. And
failing forwards, but learning and improving.
Exactly. That's the fun part, like the learning. Like the journey is more fun than the actual end result, because you don't actually know what the end result is going to be. Like I have all these goals, but like I never expected this to happen, and this has been one of the most funniest things I've ever done. So yeah, I just say don't be so strict on a plan or perfectionism, because the journey is the more fun part.
Fantastic. And my last question, Chantelle, which I really want to ask is, do you have any dream venues or festivals that you would love to play in the future?
I really want to perform at London Pride.
Fantastic.
And I really want to perform at the O2. Ever since I was a kid and I went to the O2 Arena, I'd cry, not because of the person on stage, but just because I was like, that should be me. And I've always just stood there at the end of a show or at the beginning, and like I have this feeling inside of me, and I have to perform there one day.
It's special, isn't it, when you're there and you see the size of it?
Yeah, it's insane.
Fantastic. Chantelle, thank you so much for coming to the White Swan today. We're so proud to have you.
Thank you.
What an amazing performance, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.